Well, guys, I've got a new toy. It's actually a tool, but it's kind of a toy, and it looks like a medieval torture device. But really, I'm hoping that it's going to help with all of this. Well, it is almost time to fall shear these sheep, and I still have all the spring fleece yet to clean. For the next 3 days, we are going to be around 35 degrees without the humidex, so what better time than to clean fleece? Right now I'm sitting amongst 22 fleece from this spring, and we have to get busy. Now, basically, the process that I take normally, which I will link the video above for my usual washing method, is in the house, in the sink, in bowls with boiling water. We are trying a different tactic today. It's a first time for me, so you'll have to stay tuned to the end of the video to see what I think of it. But basically, we're going to be using the big Rubbermaid totes and washing basically whole fleeces at a time. One fleece at a time in each of these buckets. And I'm not going to be using boiling water. I'm just going to be using straight hot water out of our tap. Our hot water tank is set to like 140, so it is still really, really hot water, and you still have to be careful, but it's not boiling. So I'm curious as to whether the fleece is going to get as clean as it would normally. But as much as possible, I'm going to try and stay in the shade on the deck here and just put them out into the sun once they are clean. So let's get going on this. I kind of will show you some little tidbits that I haven't already shown in this video so far. Now, one of the things you will remember from some of my shearing videos this spring, there was a lot of vegetable matter in the fleece. We did not have a good hay setup for the winter. They were pulling it down above their heads, and much of their fur, much of their fleece was kind of damaged by hay. I'm also probably going to go for the lamb fleece first because it is always beautiful. But let's kind of get going on this, and I'll bring them all out and we'll check them out. All right, so here I have 9 fleeces. These are all lamb fleece from last year. Here we have a gorgeous dark black/brown. This is off Freya. She's quite a nice sheep, and we got a really good cut off of her, but she's got a little bit of that browny red color, which makes it kind of interesting. Here we have Sasha's gray, and you can see the hay matter in this one quite a bit more. And I have this one here, which is Jackie's lamb fleece, which quite a bit of her fleece actually rued off, which is really, really nice because that makes it so beautiful to work with. Definitely going to be washing this one today. That one makes the cut no matter what in my mind. I actually have a third black one from Fatty, our ram. Again, he rued beautifully, so I'm tempted to say this one is for sure going to trump the others. And then last but not least is a gorgeous Morit fleece. This actually isn't a lamb fleece. This is Coco's fleece from this year. I did not have a Morit lamb to take lamb fleece off of this season, but Coco's, as you can see, is absolutely gorgeous all the time. That's why she's still here. Another one that I did not talk about, which I'd really like to do because it's one of my favorite colors to work with, is Rasta Boy. Now, Rasta Boy was a badger face kind of Morit gray, and his fleece comes out this beautiful tanny color. And it works so nice as an accent with so many things that I knit. So definitely that one's going to get done for sure because it's the only one I had of that color. So we're going to start with Jackie's fleece. Basically the process is the same as before. We're going to be using Dawn dish soap. Now this time, because I'm doing it all in one, I'm going to be about 1/4 cup of Dawn dish soap. And then we're going to pour in our hot water. I just have a 5-gallon bucket here. All the way. I'm essentially going to just take it off to the side and kind of give it a shake, hoping that some of that matter will fall out. I'll pluck out any of the bigger pieces that I can get at. Don't want them to land in the water though. Well, as you can see here, Jackie had an incredible amount of fleece. There's some bits here. There's quite a bit of matter, but all in all, we're just going to go for it and see what happens. So now I just push it down into the water like that. No agitating. Ooh, that's hot. Might have to get a stick. Oh, look at the grossness of that water already. Now, resist the urge to mush it around. You're going to wash this multiple times to get it nice and good. But at this point, we basically now are going to leave this for 10-15 minutes. You don't want the water to start to get too cold because a lot of this is oils and things from the fleece, and you don't want it to get cold enough that it starts to harden or solidify again. Our water's starting to just cool. I can comfortably put my hands in, but it's still warm. And basically we're going to, you can hear that, let as much drain as possible. This is where it's nice to do this outside, because it can just drain onto the deck. And that is basically after one wash. Not bad. You can really start to see the vegetable matter in there, but it's only in parts. So now we're going to dump out our bucket and do wash number 2. Now for wash number 2, I do a little bit less on the dish soap because there's still going to be a lot of it in that fleece because we haven't rinsed it. Again with the 5-gallon bucket. I'm going to attempt to squish what I can out of here so that I'm not putting dirty water back. And in we go. And once again, no agitating. Just press it down into the liquid, like so. And then we're going to let it sit for another 10 to 15 minutes. After the second wash, our white is pretty clean and our vegetable matter really shows. And now we're just going to start our rinsing. I usually rinse at least twice. Depends on how clean the fleece is if I do a second time, but half the amount of water because you don't need as much now. And I'm still keeping it as hot as my tap will do. Well, as is the usual case, nothing is going quite as quickly as I had anticipated. These are Fleece 3 and 4. This is Rasta Boy and Sasha's gorgeous gray fleece. They're on their rinse cycle here. Up here so far we have Fatty's black fleece, very full of hay. I don't like that. And Jackie's gorgeous white fleece. Well guys, we are like a week later and I still only have those 4 fleece cleaned that you saw, but gorgeous, gorgeous black, gray, white, and my tan color. So at least going into the winter, I'd like to have all the colors. So today we're going to be tackling that Morit fleece that you saw, that gorgeous one off of Coco. Not a lamb fleece this year, but still exceptionally valuable because Morit is one of those fleeces that just, if you get the right sheep, it doesn't matter if it's lamb or not. It is always beautiful and soft and wonderful. So we're going to do that. And this time, I'm only going to tackle one at a time. I'm going to get it washed and get it out. As you can see, we finally have some sun again and our temperatures are a little bit back up to normal. We're about 22 degrees Celsius. So I'm really hoping if I get this laid out in the sun, like I eventually figured out how to do, instead of leaving it in the shade like I'm standing now. It was nice for me to work in the shade, but not so good for the fleece to dry quickly. So fingers crossed, going through this same process with this beautiful Morit fleece, we will get it dried a little bit quicker than what you saw in the first 4. But moving forward, I still would like to see all 9 of those lamb fleeces done. So if I get this one done, maybe I'll get bold and tackle a 4-pack, 4 at a time again to get them all finished. If I can go into winter with those 9 lamb fleeces all done and my Morit fleece, I'll be pleased with that because that's a lot of processing to get done over the winter as it is. Don't get me wrong, I'd still like to process those other fleeces too, but we're also coming into shearing season, so we never run out of fleece around here. So here is our new tactic. 1 fleece spread out over all 4 shelves in the sun. And you know what? I just got it all put onto the shelf and the top shelf is already starting to dry in the sun. So definitely this is going to work better than my 3 or 4 days that I had it going before where I kept it all bunched up. So we're going to let this one go on the shelf for a whole day before I do the next one. So now, after all that cleaning, not as much as I had hoped, we only ended up getting 7 fleeces done, but winter is coming and these fleeces dry amazing beside the wood stove. But now it's time to use this new swing picker. Now, why did we get a swing picker? Well, basically a swing picker pulls the fibers apart and fluffs the piece and puts more air into it, which saves the life of your carder. One of the things that we have found with our carding machine, especially the fine-toothed one, is pulling apart that fleece and getting it into the straight path really seems to be hard work on the teeth, and we constantly are losing teeth out of the mat. So that's something we're hoping this machine will remedy, but I haven't even tried it out yet. It's been here for a couple days and I still haven't even tried it because I wanted to video giving it a test drive to see if it really, really made a difference.
Okay, so here's sort of the moment of truth. Now I will say I actually cheated and used this once to test it, and it's pretty cool. But we're going to take this wash fleece, so this is from earlier in the video. I'm going to unlock the little safety thing on here because that is actually quite important. And here we go.
I'm really curious to see because this is what we were usually working with, and then you pulled it apart to fluff it yourself. Definitely making sure fingers are out of the way for this particular thing.
So here is what came out the other end
Compared
versus
to
this, and it's like no effort.
Now see, this is me trying to pull apart. It is intense.
It also helps a little bit with some of the other material that you get in there, like this little piece of grass that's coming out.
So here you can see there's that piece that I just used all my force to rip off of that other section. It's pretty matted together or felted together, and it's got these gorgeous curly cues here, which are beautiful and gorgeous quality for fleece, but they do make it a little difficult on the carder because they are kind of swirled together. So I'm really curious to see how this pulls this apart and fluffs it up and shoots it out the other end. So in it goes. Oh my goodness, look at it coming out the other end. It's like fluffy, beautiful stuff.
So this thing is very easy to use and is going to be a game changer for us, I think, because it's really easy to use. It processes it pretty quickly. The next step we're going to do is take it over to the carder and just see how much easier this cards. I have a feeling it's going to go a lot easier. We'll do another video going into a little more depth on this because we're only kind of playing around right now, but it is one of those tools that if you have one of these, you do have to be careful because you saw the teeth on it. So on that note, we're going to take what we've got and run it through the carder. So I think this carder, which this is our carder that does lose some teeth, I think this is going to have a much easier time with this. So put it on the deck here and see how it does. So far, it doesn't really feel like it's working very much. Get some more and see how it goes.
So Chris has got enough on here. Oh my goodness, it's so light and fluffy even on here. Now normally we would probably have this do at least 2 or 3 passes, or whatever you call it, like running it through there a couple times.
I don't know, it's looking pretty good.
I think we'll be one more, but boy, that's fluffy stuff. That's beautiful, light and fluffy. Wow. I would still do one more pass through because there's some areas here where it did still say a little bit bunched together, but unbelievable what a difference that makes. So we still lost 3 teeth off of our carder. In all fairness, it's a very old carder, and I have a feeling we need to replace the mats on the one part of the drum. But I'm still very, very impressed with how quickly and easily that fluffed it up. The big thing for me is it really saves doing this over and over before you put it through the carder all the time. It was a lot of extra labor trying to fluff it all up. So I think on that side of things, amazing. And the other thing I will say is it got out a lot of hay and vegetable matter, which is another real bonus because you want that out before you clog up the carder with it. So all in all, I'm going to say it's a win. We're going to come back to this once I've had a little bit of experience with it and played around with it a bit, and we'll kind of go over the pros and cons and see what sort of results we get.